everybody. I have seen this advert on the television and I thought it was one of the most weirdest adverts I had ever seen in my life. Because what is it saying? You are the chicken, that you are a zombie. One of their videos is about being zombies to the chicken. I need my chicken. And then hear what this guy says. Anyway, I just thought I'd put this little video in because it is... I don't like that video at all. It is absolutely bizarre. Anyway, everybody knows because it's on the television here in the UK at the moment. But anyway, let's watch his video.
This is literally the sign to stop eating KFC chicken. If you still indulging in KFC, you must like humans. So y'all, KFC just dropped the commercial like 6 days ago. And they literally telling you in your face what their chicken is. This was by far one of the weirdest, craziest, demonic looking shit I ever seen all in one. They be telling us right in our face and people just look at the commercial and be like, oh, that was so unique. They're thinking outside of the box. No, they're thinking inside of your skin, fool. What does the shirt say? God, take a look at this commercial. Really pay attention. Okay, you got the chicken. You got a sweater floating down. Then watch the people like in a cult or something. A big giant egg. They take the person to the water. Watch what happened, y'all. Now somebody explain to me, why on earth would they make a commercial showing them dipping a human into some water, turning them into chicken, KFC chicken? I don't really need the answer. I was just saying, I already know the answer. Do you? Let me know in the comments. This shit crazy, fool.
This is the lovely angel. I really love him. I love his mind. He's so clever and he keeps trying to explain things to us. And he has explained this before on a couple of hangouts that I've had. So if you imagine, so you're going to watch this video, but if you imagine that you have, say, we'll just use cogs, and you've got measurements for the cogs to work, but every time the cog is working, the measurement they've made is slightly out. So what would happen with the cogs if the measurements are slightly out? The cogs won't turn properly. Now that's just an example. But if things aren't right, they won't work. Anyway, we're going to watch his little video, and thank you very much to my lovely angel.
GreatGizaPyramid.com. It's hard to be on the same page when we're not even on the same foot. What do I mean by that? Well, we've been using a unit of measurement since a really long time, although it's not referenced in the Old Testament that I can see, but there are different measurements. We'll get into that. The foot. This is divided up funny, but the foot, 12 inches, right there, 12 inches. We've been using this as a unit of measurement for a really long time. Where did it come from? Well, I can tell you, because it's pretty dang simple. We can argue who, but let's just say a civilization of the past believed the Earth to rotate 365.222 days per cycle, per year, or whatever you wish to call it. Okay? That was a number they used. They also liked 360 degrees. So if you add those two, or multiply those two together, you get 131,479,920. That is the number of divisions along the equator, and those divisions each are referred to as a foot. Pretty simple math. Now, in 1580, we decided to track the sun. Actually, in 1580 is when the Gregorian calendar was confirmed, concreted, and declared awesome. Popped a couple of wine things, champagne maybe, I don't know. Maybe they didn't get them shipped in from France, so they may not have been champagne. Anyway, and they waved their little dongles around and decided that they were awesome, and they decided that 365.2242 cycles is what we today call a year. That's great and wonderful. It doesn't negate the fact that a civilization in the past referred to that as a year. Now, when referring to that as a year, it comes out to a very nice number, and that number we still use today. How? Because today we believe the Earth to be 40,000, was it 40,047? 41.17? I'm gonna Google that real quick. Alexa, what is the CIRCUN circumference of the Earth? There we go. Now, of course, today is telling me it in feet. It always wants to tell me it in meters. There it is, 75.17. Okay? And when you break that out into feet, doing an equation, because we measured it in meters, kilometers technically, or meters, comes out to 131,479. I think it's 704 or something like that. I had it written down. Give me a second. Here. Musical interlude. That didn't work out well. Well, we'll go back. Anyway, you can ask your magic thing to translate that. So that's what they feel. Now, what do you think? Do you think they are 200 feet off of their measurement? Or do you think that they're right and that I'm off? Well, I don't have to worry about it because I know that is how the foot was conceived. Now let's talk about the meter. We're not even on the same meter. The meter, this wonderful piece of metal right here, okay? Right there, 40 inches, 1 meter. All right? They decided, they being in 1791, that they were going to develop the meter. Now what is the meter? The meter is supposed to be the length from the pole to the equator, this line right here, okay? That's what a meter is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a division of that. It's supposed to be 1/10,000,000th. New pen. Is that 10,000? 100,000, okay, 1/10,000,000,000, or 10,000 kilometers, okay? So that is what the length is supposed to be. Now, they decided, they popped their corks, they waved their dongles again. In 1791, actually, they popped their corks and stuff in 1800, 1799, if I remember my Google correctly. So then, a couple dozen years later, 200, we decided to actually calculate it out now that we had, all this stuff up there and radio waves, and we could do more math, and we figured it out, and they found out that they were, what is the number? Okay, in the meters, it would be, here, let's do it in this way. 10,000. It is 1.7 kilometers off. 1.7 kilometers off, which would be a whole bunch of meters. 1,700 meters. Yeah, 17,000 meters. No, 1,700 meters. I don't know this, okay? I'm not doing my math good today. I'm carrying my decimal points around. 1.7, yeah. So it would be, they were 1,700 meters off. What is that in miles? I don't know. Doesn't matter. It's a good distance. 1,700 meters is a good distance. But did they go back and say, hey, let's take each one of these meter things and take 1.7 10 millionths off of it? No. They said, we'll let it slide. Now, the problem with we'll let it slide is you're going to miss symmetry, which would be there because 479, 920 feet is the length of one linear equator. 40,000 would be another length for this same linear line, which means there's going to be symmetry at points, like right in the middle. Half of that is going to be half of that, very easily. There's going to be points where there's symmetry. The symmetry is lost when we don't calculate things correctly, which means we can't directly compare it. This would be a very easy comparison of that over that would get you the right way. The same thing with qubits. The qubit is 1/800th of a arc time of transition. As the Earth passes across this equator, 1/800th of a second is a qubit, which winds up to be 22 point, what is it? It's in my paper. You can go to gotfoot.com. 22 point, I think it's 8 something, okay? That is what they call the official qubit or the mega qubit or whatever. That is a qubit, although they're a tiny bit off because it's a very easy also formula. You take 24 times 60 times 60 times 800, and I think the number's like 46 something. It's a nice number, 46 and then 2 digits and then a bunch of zeros. You take that, all those, they all are equivalent. They are all the same measurement of the same line. And just like how this rule right here has different rules on it, even though it's the same chunk of metal, it can be measured in different fashions because this one has, ow, that was my face. This one has, as you can see on it, the different measurements. It's nice enough to break them down and tell me what they are. Man, that hurt. And you can measure the same length using different things, and there's going to be spots where like every 12 inches is a foot. Bam, there's a marker there. Every 5,280 feet is a mile. Bam, there's a marker there. There are things with symmetry. Now the feet and the mile, well, it doesn't matter. We'll get it. That's a whole other story. But when we don't have the measurements accurate, we can't, when we get down to the minute levels, get accurate answers because we aren't using accurate measurements. So we can't be on the same page if we're not on the same foot. I think I beat that one to a dead horse. Oh, and do we really expect to trust the people to calculate the movement of the sun when they can't even accurately calculate the meter? Come on, people. Your measurements that we use today, even the time that we use today, I can argue how it's off by a tiny bit, by the way it should be calculated, by the way it had been calculated. We have skewed everything so symmetry is lost. And believe me, I'm a man of rule. I'm into discipline. I have a hat on my head and a beard on my chin.
Check this shit out. The sun is over here. Look at these. What the fuck is that?
Can prove that the moon landings are fake with the logic, not having to look at any video clip or any picture. Today, with 5 decades better rockets and computers, the farthest that NASA can send an astronaut into space is only 1,000th the distance to the moon. So what they're really claiming, Danny, is that back in 1969, when all of NASA's computers combined had 1/1,000,000th the computing power of a cell phone, they sent astronauts ahead of schedule on the first attempt 1,000 times farther than they can do today with 50 years better technology. So what they're actually saying is, for the first time in the history of the world, technology was greater in the past than in the future, which is impossible, which means they faked it. It's amazing. The truth is right there. And people have made a god out of this, and they refuse to see the truth.